Tri-Arius Wargaming here with my Samnite Army Showcase. So I did about 100 plus Samnites, 6 units of infantry, 2 units of cavalry, and then some heroes and commanders. So I want to talk you through the army and then give you some tips on how to do your own Samnite force. So start out with the infantry. So these are in units of about 20-ish models, and a lot of conversion work in this army. So most of the figures are Victrix figures from 3 different sets: the Greek Hoplite set, the Samnite sets, so the armored and unarmored Samnite sets, which are basically the same, just with armor or without, and then also the Allied Italian Legion set. So those are the most of the models. Then the second biggest group are from Aventine Miniatures, who would do an awesome range of Samnites, and then also Agema Miniatures. There are a few of those, and some Lucid Eye Samnites. I think the Aventine and the Victrix go really well together. The Agema ones are a little slender, but you won't really notice it unless you're really looking once they're painted. And then the Lucid Eye Samnites, for some reason, are really big, way bigger than even their other figures, like their Greek figures or their Roman figures. I don't know why the Samnites are so huge, but they are just huge, chunky miniatures. So this was a really fun army to paint, especially with like the tunic designs. I did go all in with the tunics. And I'll show you at the end the website I used, but it's a great website that has all the different tunic designs from different archaeological records. And I think that's one of the things that makes this army so cool. The Samnites have really awesome helmets and armor and clothing and stuff, really colorful. So these figures I think would work really well as allies of ancient Romans, enemies. The Samnites, they were fighting against the Romans a lot, but they could also serve as, they were mercenaries for lots of different armies as well. They allied with Hannibal. These guys would be great for the last line at the Battle of Zama, where about half the line was the Bruttian swordsmen, Bruttian veterans that Hannibal brought back over from Italy. So these guys, they can fill the role of basically any kind of non-Roman Italian, Southern Italian force. They're all kind of similar. Mamertines as well. I think these guys would function really well as a Mamertine army. And really, I would say actually this force is like a little small for me to be considered a full army, but it would work pretty well as a kind of allied force. So maybe like half of an army, a quarter of an army. So I did some heroes as well and a couple commanders for To the Strongest. So yeah, I mean, you got some stills of the commanders here. The commanders are metal, the heroes are plastic Victrix, and then that is a Victrix Greek cavalryman who I just made into a Samnite leader. And I made some casualties too, just by hacking up allied Italians and just repositioning the limbs a little bit to make dead bodies. Those figures are pretty static, so it's not hard to make them into casualties. And part of my like head canon, I guess, for these guys is I was thinking they would be companions from the city of Capua, which was kind of a rival to Rome. So there's the cavalry. The ones on the left are all Aventine miniatures. These ones are Victrix conversions, which I actually did most of these a couple years ago, except for 4 of the figures in the back. So most of them are the Victrix Iberian set, and then the 4 in the back that I did just now are from the Greek cavalry set. I loved the Aventine ones, but you can see there's a massive size difference between the Aventines and the Victrix. And even between the Victrix, the Greek-like cavalry are way bigger than the Iberian cavalry. It's actually to a pretty crazy extent there. I wanted to talk you through a website that I found really helpful. If you search Legio X for Tensis Samnites or Samnite reenactment, you can find this site pretty easily. But this is a really great resource for images from the primary sources, but also interpretation. So we won't, I'll let you check out the website if you're interested in this, but what I found the most useful is it talks about all of the different armors that they found archaeologically in images. It has all these primary sources. Like one reason I used some of the hoplites sets in that army is because it mentioned the line of thorax as being frequent in the artwork. It's got these helmets, of course. I think the most useful part is these tunics, and you can like click on these images and get the full spread. And I actually had these open as I was painting, and I was pulling the tunic designs directly from the website. And that's one of the coolest parts, I think, of the Samnite army is the variety of the tunics. So I think this, if you're doing a Samnite army, I would say this is like a must-use resource. What was also interesting is the shields. Contrary to what you actually get in the sets, is the shield designs, they mainly used round shields, reminiscent of the Greek shields. Apparently the construction was quite different, but they look similar, from a tabletop perspective. And apparently, I don't know, that's at least what you see most commonly in the artwork anyways. But anyways, this is a really great site. I would encourage you to check it out. It also has pictures of reenactors wearing the equipment, which I think can be really helpful as well to see what it looks like on a real person. All right, guys, thank you for watching. So I will have some updates coming soon. I'm currently working on this big Carthaginian project, which I'll kind of have a launch video, hopefully, sometime in December. And I'm also doing the Analog Hobbies Painting Challenge, so I'll have an update on that too. See you later. Bye.